Assalamualaikum, dear students, dear listeners, that today in today's video we are moving ahead. We are going to discuss another idea which is quite common in literature, in poetry, in our prose everywhere, and which basically gives a lot of worth to our writing, to the composition. And what is that? What we are going to discuss, that is figures of speech. Let's see, what does it mean? When we talk about a figure of speech, is a departure from the ordinary form of expression or the ordinary course of ideas in order to produce a greater effect. It means when we leave a greater effect in our writing, then we use basically figure of speech. Or a figure of speech is a word or phrase that possesses a separate meaning from its literal definition. So it gives underlying meaning to enhance the worth or the beauty of our work. First, simile, which is quite common. When we talk about simile, it is basically what it is all about, the comparison between two unlike ideas. And when we talk about the simile is usually introduced by words like as, are, so. For instance, sweet as sugar. The room is dark as night. Again, two things have been compared with the help of as. Your heart is hard like a rock. So hardness has been compared with a rock, and joy like a pear. Again, in these all sentences, you can easily observe comparison is going on with the help of like, as, or, so. Then metaphor, when we talk about the metaphor, again, implied comparison between two unlike things that actually have something important in common. Again, comparison and comparison. In this comparison, we basically compare things without using like, as, or so. So example is, the boy was a fish in water. What does it mean? Does it mean he was a fish? No, it means he has been compared with a fish, that he was as happy or as skillful in the water as the fish is. Then he proved to be a lion in the fight. What does it mean? Does it mean he was a lion in the fight? No, he was fighting like a lion in the in the war zone or in the fight. So here we are comparing things without using like or as. Life is a dream. Then the camel is a ship of the desert. So here in these examples, the things have been compared again, but the problem is here we do not use like, as, or so, as we have used in the simile. Then let's see the comparison between metaphor and simile. When we talk about simile means Mike is as cute as a teddy bear. The news was like a dagger to his heart. The same sentence we have converted into metaphor. Mike is teddy bear. Nowhere we have used as or like. The news was a dagger to his heart. So the usage in simile we use like as, but in metaphor we do not use these. Alliteration. When we talk about alliteration, it is a repetition of the same beginning consonant sound, right? Our focus is on the repetition and then beginning of the consonant sound within a sentence, within a line. For instance, Betty bought butter, but butter was bitter, so Betty bought a better butter to make the bitter butter better. B, b, b. You can see this is the repetition of consonant sound, and throughout we have basically used consonant sound b, 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 and which is used in the beginning of the word. So when we talk about the alliteration is what? It's the repetition of the same beginning or initial consonant sound. The example is mentioned here. right? So when we talk about the alliteration, it is the repetition of the same beginning consonant sound. So please keep it remember. Dear students, when we talk about alliteration, it is a repetition of same initial consonant sound. We are not talking about vowel sound or any other sound, and that must be within a line. This is called alliteration. Then we have hyperbole. Hyperbole, what does it mean? It is a major exaggeration or over a statement. What does it mean? Sometimes we say something or say more as compared to the thing which has not done in that way. Or in hyperbole, a statement is made emphatic by overstatement. Another use of this figure of speech is to add humor by emphasizing a statement. I nearly died laughing. Now, see, do you believe when someone laughs, he could die? No, this is the example of hyperbole when we exaggerate or we overstatement. He is running faster than the wind. Is it possible? So what does it mean? It means this is the example of hyperbole when we exaggerate. The shopping cost me $1 million. Don't you think it's too much? So this is hyperbole. Again, I saw 10,000 daffodils at a glance. 10,000 at a glance. Right? What is the it mean? It's mean hyperbole. It's mean exaggeration. Personification, another figure of speech which is quite common in literature, especially in poetry. Personification is defined as a literary device that assigns human qualities and attributes to objects or other non-human things. Right? Personification means when humanly attributes have been depicted in some other non-human being things. For instance, if I say Rita heard the last piece of pie calling her name, do you believe a piece of pie can call someone? No. What does it mean? Who calls? Human being. So here, humanly attribute we have basically depicted in a piece of pie. My alarm clock yells at me to get out of bed every morning. Don't you think yelling is a quality of human being? It's an attribute of human being and which has been shown in the alarm clock. So that's why what does it mean? It is the example of personification. The lonely White House. Now see, who could be lonely? A human being. But here a house is lonely White House. What does it mean? It means this has been personified. This is the example of personification. So what is personification? It is basically any humanly quality or attribute which has been depicted in non-human being. Then onomatopoeia. When we talk about onomatopoeia, it is a word's pronunciation that imitates a sound or it sounds like the noise to which you are referring. In simple, we call the imitation of sound when we try to produce the sound of someone. For instance, the clanging pot and pans woke the baby. The clanging. So what is this? This is the sound when the pots, they basically strike together. The bacon sizzled in the pan, sizzling sound. The wolves howled at the moon. Or we can say the splash, crash, beat. These are basically what? These are the sounds, the imitation of sound. So these all are the examples of onomatopoeia. It's your turn. Go and gather the green leaves on the grass. Go, 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 go. Repetition of initial consonant sound. What is coming in your mind? Can you recall it? Is it simile or alliteration or personification? I have a clap of chalkboard erasers. I have a clap. It's a sort of sound. The sun smiled down on us. Who could smile? A human being or a non-human? So what is it? Is it the example of metaphor, simile, or personification? The big bad bear bore the baby bunnies by the bushes. Boo, 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 boo. I am so hungry, I could eat a horse. Don't you think it's too much? Think and decide it. What are these all? The light danced on the surface of the water. Can light dance? Which type of figure of speech is it? He's older than the hills. Oh, don't you think it's too much? Yeah, don't you think too much exaggeration is here? Now check the answers. The first one, alliteration. G, 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 repetition of same initial consonant sound. I have a clap of chalkboard erasers. Clap, sound, Nomentopia. The sun smiled down on a sun smile. Humanly attribute, personification. The big bad bear, b, 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 b. Same initial consonant sound within a line. Repetition. I'm so hungry, I could eat a horse. Is it possible for you if you're hungry? If you're hungry a lot, even though you cannot eat a horse. So what is it? It's exaggeration. The light danced on the surface of the water. Who could dance? Of course, human being. Light can't. He's older than the hills. Is it possible? Hyperbole. Thank you. And hopefully you have got this idea easily. And if you face any problem, you are always welcome. Thank you from my side.